When we talk about different groups of people like Native Americans or Europeans, we can talk about culture because different groups of people have different ways of doing things. We call that culture. Culture is a way. How? A way of life of a group, an organization, or a country. So it's interesting. It's a group, an organization, or a country has different ways of life or ways of doing things. A group can be, for example, like a group of Boy Scouts, right? Boy Scouts is a group, they have a certain type of culture. They have a certain way that they dress. They have certain slogans or certain signs that they make. So they have a certain culture. An organization, like a company. Oh, Boy Scouts of America is also an organization, but a company can also have a culture. Like a company culture. How do those people dress? How do they act? That can be a culture too. And of course, a country is a nation of people, and they have certain cultures or certain things that they do that is according to their culture. So groups can be groups of people, people who have the same ethnic group, organizations like Boy Scouts of America or a company, and a country like America or other country. All have different culture, a way of life, a way to live, certain ways that they dress, certain things that they do. Now we're talking about Native Americans in this unit. Native Americans, of course, are the people who were living in North America before the Europeans. If you remember history, Europeans came to North America, starting with, people say starting with Christopher Columbus is when most Europeans started coming over to America. And they found people already living there. Those people who are already there are called Native Americans. Now, when we talk about native, what is a native? Who is a native? A native is a person born and existing in a particular place or country. So if you were born in Korea, you are a native of Korea. If you were born in America, like this boy seems to have been, he is a Native American. Somebody who is born in a place or existing. If you go to a new country and you see the people there, those are the natives. They exist in that country. They live in that country. They are the natives there. Let's take a look at a video. This is a video of Native Americans, and you can see that their culture is quite interesting. They're wearing different sorts of clothes, and they are dancing in a certain way. So this is the way that they live for many, many years, hundreds of years. This is the culture that this group has developed. Okay? Now, to hunt. When we talk about Native Americans, of course, Native Americans were a group of people who lived before modern times. And of course, much of their culture, their way of life, they did certain activities. One of those activities was to hunt. Hunt means to chase and kill animals for their meat or skin. Of course, before modern times, if we wanted to get meat, if we wanted to have a steak, we couldn't just go to the store and buy one. We had to go out and hunt an animal for its meat. And of course, that was very common many hundreds of years ago. We also, if we wanted to eat fish, we have to go out and catch a fish. Fish means to try to catch fish. To try. It doesn't mean you're successful, right? If you say I'm fishing, it doesn't mean you caught a fish. It means you're trying to catch a fish. Hopefully, you will be lucky and you will catch that fish. Okay? So to fish means to try and catch a fish. And that's what they're doing. They're using a fishing pole. A fishing pole and line, and they are trying to catch a fish. If they get a fish, they will be very happy. This is a fishing pole. Have you gone fishing before? Maybe you've gone fishing with your dad or your mom or your family. It's a very interesting and fun activity. But a long time ago, people had to fish in order to eat. Craftwork. Craftwork is an interesting word. Craft, it's really two words, craft and work. Craft is some type of art or something that you make with your hands. When you use your hands to make something, you're engaged in crafts. Work, of course, is a work of art. It's an object. So craft work is work made by special skills, especially when you're working with your hands. You have certain skills. Somebody who makes a basket here, they're working with their hands, and they have to have special skills to make such a beautiful basket as this. People who work in wood and they make nice things out of wood, that is also craft work. They're engaged in a craft. Settle. To settle means to go and live in a place. To go and live in a place. This bird has settled down in this nest. By the way, I think this is a fake bird. It doesn't look like a real bird. It looks like maybe a little toy. But anyways, it could be a real bird. It's very hard to find out in this picture, isn't it? But anyway, this is a nest. These birds will come here, they'll make their nest, and they will settle in this area. But we can also talk about people, especially a long time ago, when large groups of people would leave one place and go to another place, and they would settle down there. They would stop and they would start living there, and they would develop the land and raise crops and raise animals, make farms and houses, and they would live there. And that's called to settle the land, or to go settle somewhere else. In modern times, we still do that. Some people want to change their countries, so they might move from one country and settle in another country. So that is still something that people do. Affect. Affect means to make a change in something or someone. If you affect someone, you make a change in that person. If you affect something, you change that thing. So to affect is very important, that you're making a change in something or someone.
American Textbook Reading, Grade 1, Social Studies, Book 2. Lesson 1. The First Americans. Culture. A way of life of a group, organization, or country. Native Americans. The people who are living in North America before Europeans. Native. Born and existing in a particular place or country. Hunt. To chase and kill animals for their meat or skin. Fish. To try to catch fish. Craftwork. Work made by special skills. Settle. To go and live in a place. Affect. To make a change in something or someone.